Damn, it's pretty frosty out here.
Grendel Station to Walker. Do you copy?
Grendel, I copy loud and clear.
Where are you, Sutera?
I want to get a look at it.
You know you can do that from inside the station.
Yeah, that ain't the same. I just want to see something, see it for real. That's all.
Looks real enough on my monitor, mate. No need getting your head in a mess.
You worry about your own hair, pretty boy.
Just make sure you stay in one piece. That might not be a perk, but it's still a damn expensive suit.
There is a place beyond the bounds of normal space. In this place, systems can bend and twist the properties of ship combat. Into this place our French corporation Guillotine Therapy set forth, with a mission to unravel the mysteries of the wormhole. Faced with mass limits that dictate the size and type of ships moving through wormholes, it is essential for a good fleet to hit above its weight, and to extract the most use from a small number of capitals it can move with, which has made the triage tactics of previous Clarion calls the dominant mode of heavy combat in wormhole space. In their adventures, Guillotine Therapy soon encountered a group named Aperture Harmonics, ticker AHARM, a powerful group who, like us, were said to work alone and raid across all of wormhole space. They were said to live in a place called Nova, a C6 magnetar wormhole with a massive bonus to damage and ECM strength. It was said no one had won a battle in Nova, and that fast, small scouts entering were instantly destroyed by faction battleships, even at range. Guillotine Therapy set about finding Nova, but one does not simply walk into a wormhole. Even once we had eyes inside, within minutes of probing where the connection to Nova might lead, AHARM dreads would log in and collapse the entrance to generate new ones. This made it impossible to ever know the path to Nova for more than a few minutes. When faced with a fortress and drawbridge, civilizations of old would employ a battering ram, and so it proved here. The method is called chain collapsing. A system with a static C6 wormhole will always spawn a new C6 when it is destroyed. By doing this intentionally with capitals and battleships, and then probing and repeating this on each new wormhole created, it is possible to eventually cycle through all the C6 wormholes in existence. As there are 113 C6 wormholes, and the probability is independent, it means a 0.9% chance of finding Nova on each collapse. This can be slow work, but given AHARM's reaction time, it was essential for the entire fleet to be ready to jump at a moment's notice if the correct connection was spawned. And so, during the long evenings of chain collapsing, we entertained ourselves with stories of the unknown from the past, from lost cosmonauts, forgotten explorers, all the way back to the memory palaces of Matteo Ricci, or the location of Alaric's grave in the bed of the Bucento. Just as the suicidal captain of the Tainmouth Electron disappeared beneath the waves, J105934 appeared. We had found Nova. With AHARM holding full moon coverage, we instantly attacked the pause. Being good hosts, they instantly attacked us. AHARM warped in at range, and here you see Portable Decoy's recon ship being insta-popped at 150 kilometers by an autocannon Hurricane. The warm welcome we expected, but the details were a little more baffling. Short-range neutron blaster megathrons that could hit at 150 kilometers for full damage. Logs that showed that every hit landed for perfect damage. No glancing blows or slight hits. And even a neutron blaster Brutix, usually limited to shooting a couple kilometers in front of its nose, was able to land for maximum damage at over 150 kilometers. Whilst the Magnetar may double a weapon's raw damage multiplier and alter its tracking, it affects no other quality on the weapon. How could short-range maximum damage setups hit perfectly at sniping ranges of 150 to 200 kilometers without even a single glancing blow? We knew right away that the secret had to lie somewhere within the Magnetar's bonus to the strength of electronic warfare. At least we had leads to follow. Despite the phenomenal demonstration of firepower, we had implausibly been able to kill AHARM vessels, and in steel as in flesh, corpses leave clues. Kill mails showed that every AHARM ship had had its weapons tracking disrupted by one of their own members. To have a hostile action from a friendly can happen a few times perhaps, but not on every ship. With the fleet trapped in limbo between a Magnetar and Hell, our scientists returned to the foundries to reverse engineer their methods. Before entering the wormhole, we had considered the technical implications of the extreme C6 Magnetar environment. For example, a sensor dampener with 100% bonus could give the hostile a negative lock range. This would mean that ship has essentially a lock range of 0, which is indeed what happened. We had also considered whether tracking disruption could set a weapon's tracking to negative. However, the tracking formula is squared, preventing a negative result, and even so, a negative angular velocity would just mean motion in the opposite direction and should have no impact. This means that mathematically, there was little point in trying to disrupt AHARM's guns. But the evidence pointed to AHARM tracking disrupting themselves, so we investigated further, and soon discovered that rather than the mathematically expected result, a gun with a negative angular velocity simply acquired infinite properties. It became a turret that could hit at any range on any object for perfect damage on any shot, no matter the size or speed of the target. The only limit, in fact, was the 249-kilometer lock range of the ship. This means, for example, a blaster Vindicator could hit an interceptor even if it was afterburning with an impossible transversal of 1,000,000 meters a second at a range of 248 kilometers, and each hit would land for maximum. Of course, now that we knew the rules, we spent the subsequent hours planning a superior version with more redundancy, since AHARM's use of tracking disrupting pairs meant that if one ship died, 2 sets of infinite guns were lost. But the tendrils of the galactic government reach even into the depth of wormhole space, and given the utterly absurd nature of the battle ahead, our member on the CSM Council wisely advised us to request the government's permission on the legality of the weapon before using it. The wheels of bureaucracy turned slowly. Weeks went by whilst we waited in the Magnetar, and so we published our findings to the pod community, with details of the Infinite Gun, our reverse engineering of it, and a desire for a showdown with AHARM on their own absurd terms. The revelations produced much unrest among pod pilots, as the scope of the Infinite Gun became known, and its potential uses financially. Finally, the workers of the Scrap Heap Challenge Yard uncovered a smoking gun. AHARM, it seems, had asked the galactic government for a verdict long ago, and it had been declared illegal. Unhappy with the result, they asked the bureaucrats again, but this time simply asked, "Is all as intended?" without referring to the weapon or the previous ruling. A blanket question received a blanket answer, and Aham used this to build their supergun. With these details public, Concord moved in, and their science teams removed the bonus to electronic warfare not just from Nova, but from all magnetars, everywhere. The infinite gun was gone. We were not, but the long wait had rendered many pilots homesick for the simplicity of normal space, and many of those who remained were no longer in suitable ships now that all bonuses to electronic warfare had disappeared. Nonetheless, we attempted to engage, even though we were without heavy assets like carriers, and the halved lock range of the Magnetar forces Guardians close to Balgorns. Aham deployed our own signature tactics against us, with good skill, and we were unable to break their triage carriers, one of which was ironically flown to fine effect by an ex-Rooks and Kings member, Seamus McLove. Our forces were dispersed, and under the glare of the Magnetar sun, scattered ships had to be swiftly evacuated, or else be hunted down. The secret of the fortress had been exposed, but Aperture remained unbowed. Rumours swirled of the intergalactic government fining them hundreds of billions of ISK, but to their credit, their juggernaut ploughed on. Despite the setbacks, Elm and Curafin ordered a new offensive, this time a surprise attack against the second home of Aham, named Polaris. Having previously dispatched a number of heroes of known space who then disappeared in the depths of unknown space, they asked me to command the fleet myself. When the call comes, pilots must answer, so I topped up my pod fluid and set off. Guillotine therapy led the way, and we set Polaris ablaze. On Elm's instruction, I openly published the wormhole connections to Polaris, and invited Aperture reinforcements to pass any blockade freely and enter at will to fight us. Despite publishing the connections to Polaris, they did not take us up on the unusual offer, meaning it would be only a matter of time until they struck back elsewhere. A month after Polaris burned, a small wormhole-faring group by the name of Norcorp attacked Guillotine Therapy's system of the time and reinforced a tower. Why would a small, relatively unknown group like Norcorp attack an entity like Guillotine Therapy? Had they been paid, maybe coerced, and did they have a backer? My suspicions were aroused, and that night I put Alizeus into a Proteus and led a T3 fleet from normal space back down the rabbit hole. The tower was repaired without incident, but then, in the heart of the night came news. Norcorp were attacking again.
LA in the tank is jamming me.
Taking a lot of damage unless he's armor tanked. No, he's armor tanked.
Get ready to switch to the Guardians.
I'm gonna dump Tengus again.
Despite the hour, Fisher King had sounded the alarm, and with his help I rounded up 6 people, and we pounced just as Norcorp finished reinforcing the control tower again. Mindful of a trap, we kept Agent Zero's carrier out of triage and on the edge of the shield. Why were Norcorp reinforcing a tower again in the middle of the night, after it had been easily repaired following the first attempt? Catching them red-handed now presented a chance to see their backers who might be prematurely called in to save them. This would then spring the trap early, a trap surely intended for the tower exiting reinforced, rather than entering it.
Starting to walk off. Keep on scouts.
And yet, they were dying, with no sign of backup.
Okay guys, just the Nagelfar.
So we should just start killing him.
Now we'll see if Aperture are behind this.
Would they shoot a trap just for one dread?
Maybe the Nag pilot is screaming at them to do so.
Two Scorpions on scan. 2 hostile Scorpions.
Well,
Get ready to switch the Scorch.
Okay, Guardian, Hurricane, Scorpion.
That's okay, that's probably just Norcorp.
Lots of stuff.
Ooh.
Everyone get wagon.
Yeah,
Outside,
there they
outside.
come. Aperture.
Having secretly built up a force in the wormhole, Aperture had now shown their hand and only killed 1 battleship for it. Even so, all sides now had another reinforced timer to herald the next engagement. They informed us in local that they would be there this time. But Guillotine Therapy had a special plan to make sure of it. Early next morning, we began chain collapsing for Nova. After 6 hours of collapsing in record time, the mist cleared and our scout called the location, J105934. Nearly a year after the original attack began, we had returned to Nova. With Aham preparing to collapse the entrance within minutes, we had to engage with the pilots we had against what we knew would be an escalating force. We would bring 2 critical heavy mass ships in with us. The first was the triage carrier of Agent Zero. The Magnetar's penalty to lock range makes a Guardian group very vulnerable to sensor dampening, meaning our signature triage ship was the viable choice for a small group. However, in a Magnetar, even with a 20,000 DPS tank, the Archon has many predators. Aside from neutralizing ships like Balgorns, we knew dreadnoughts would present a massive danger. Due to the properties of a C6 Magnetar, a single Moros dreadnought can easily outdamage a Nyx supercarrier. The second crucial heavy mass ship was the Balgorn of Celaya. For as long as it can be fed capacitor, a Balgorn can perform critical roles, from neuting hostile triage carriers to switching off capacitor heavy guns. With only 1 triage and 1 Balgorn, we knew there was a danger of being swamped in the critical assets. But during our last trip to Nova, we had seen Aperture using our triage tactics to excellent effect. Our desire to teach them a lesson in triage blinded us to the dangers.
Morris this side, there's a Morris this side.
BL is primary, Apocalypse Navy issue. BL is primary.
I'm going to web their caps so they can't hit.
We've got a large anchorable bubble anchoring on our side. I'm going to go switch back into Legion.
I will jump the Visphorus and put a bubble on the other side.
Everyone keeping jump range so we can jump back. Oh, guys,
We're not going to jump back until they're dead. Now look, all you people around the wormhole entrance right now, fly away from the wormhole. Fly away from the wormhole entrance, get into Optimal, get over here, and kill them.
APOC is getting wrecked.
Okay, get ready to switch on to the Zealot of HAY. We'll try and melt him quickly, and then we'll move on to the Balgorn of DEM. Switch now. Agent, have they started priming the triage?
I'm fine, they're not even targeting me.
The other side is bubbled now.
Slayer, they have 2 Balgorns and we only have yours. This whole fight's going to depend on you silencing both of them.
They're starting to focus the triage.
User joined your channel.
Hello.
I'm getting neutered out.
Slayer, what's the cap percentage on their Balgorns?
I just got the lockback, so I'm checking now.
Agent, whatever cap you've still got, send it to Salayer's Balgorn, even if you're going low armor. He has to silence their Balgorns or it's over anyway. No matter what, we have to keep him fed somehow.
DEM is capped out, I'm going...
Good work, start muting the other Balgorn. Everyone prime DEM in the Balgorn. His hardness might be off now.
It's going down.
Overload on them, guys, overload.
Balgon's dying.
It's getting wrecked, it should swap.
Okay, switch to the other Balgorn. Damn it. Okay. Switch again. Celaya, once you've muted the second Balgorn, keep a newt on both Balgorns, and then start neuting their triage Nidhogger.
What's your cap, Agent? What's your cap?
I'm getting cap back, I'm at 30%, 38%.
Okay, everyone switch back onto the Apocalypse Navy issue of BL. We need to wear down this Nidhogger's cap. Cap on the Nid.
It's almost, yeah, it's at 5%, 10%.
And cap on the bars?
I'm jammed, but they were all empty, both of them.
Okay, their Nid will be capped any second. Switch on to the Navy Geddon.
I will come back with the Phobos.
Okay. This Navigation's gonna die. Keep on him.
Navy Geddon's down. Melt BL.
Second Nidhogg on grid. Second Nidhogg is on
Yep,
grid.
there's more coming in. Finish DEM's Balgorn before their second triage gets rep.
But damn me if you can.
Loki coming in.
Celaya, is their first triage carrier still neutered?
Yeah, the Nidhogger still has no cap at all.
Okay, he's prime.
Mute the Mollusk now. Mute the Mollusk so our carry doesn't attack us.
Switch to DOMA in the Typhoon. Let's see what their second triage carrier's rep is like. Okay, it's good. Back onto the carrier.
Second Mollusk in. We need to stop now.
We're not leaving now. Right, come on. Celaya, give me the cap level on the first Moros and the second triage carrier. I'm assuming the first triage carrier is still capped.
About 20% on the Moros, going down fast. Crazy Fist is at over 50%.
Okay, all damaged still on the first triage carrier. Need to kill him before he ends cycle. Celaya, just keep muting the Moros and check the cap levels on the second Moros. Get ready.
Something's hitting me really hard. I'm getting low armor. My tank is breaking.
8 agents, tanks breaking.
Yeah, tell me something I don't know.
What's the second Mollusk like? Select.
He's still good at 40%, I'd say.
And how long until the first dread is capped?
He's at like 3% now, so about 30 seconds max.
Okay, good. Keep muting them. Keep muting them. Everyone else, we have to finish off this carrier. Come on, we're nearly there. We have to finish him before he comes out of triage.
Nidhogg is in structure.
Okay, let's test their rep on the Foon, then onto the Moros.
Let's kill a Moros.
Geddon is back. Sliff and the Navy Geddon's back.
Agent, how low is your armor?
About 40%, going down about 20%.
Celaya, we have to mute the guns off those dreads.
New Chimera incoming.
Camera. Okay, both the Moroses are out of the cap now.
Shit.
What have you just lost?
Mind. Alzace, I burned out one of my reppers.
One of your
My
self-reps.
self-repper. Yeah. I mean, I had to. I was my tank.
It doesn't matter. One Moros is dead, the other one's held 0 cap. You can tank all their faction battleships on one rep. We've won.
I've got Clarion
Nice,
on the
guys.
mess and he's really jealous and very happy.
Does anybody have repair haste?
Somehow Agent Zero's triage carrier had survived. His lone triage had outlived their 3 dead space fitted triage carriers, and his capacitor management had kept Celia's Balgorn fed long enough to neutralize the hostile Balgorns and the 2 faction fitted Moros dreadnoughts until the remaining damage was tankable. In Nova, our attacking fleet had crushed their defending fleet. Meanwhile, back in our wormhole, our defending fleet had formed up, against which their stranded attacking fleet could mount no challenge.
We are probing for them?
We've killed a revelation and started repping the tower.
The system is under control.
Despite their early gains, Aperture's campaign had now gone below 50% and soon disappeared. Their forces dispersed for the time being and disappeared back into the ether, with isolated stragglers being hunted down. But war never ends. This first year of war has also seen the rise of prominent entities such as the mercenaries of Narwhals, the Empire Builders, Starbridge, the dexterous W-Space and the resurgent Capital Construction Research, each with their own narratives and rivalries, whilst Aham and Norcorp live on too. In the second year, battles will be won and lost, towers will burn, and new pilots will make their name. Aham were wrong about many things, but they were right about their motto: all paths lead to K162.
Grendel, we'll never know what's out there. I'm heading in.